Welcome to Old Man Sports Talk. I'm your host, Old Man Nate, and today it's Red River Rivalry Week. So we got none other than from Horn Takes podcast, Sean. Welcome, Sean.
Hey, what's up, mate? How you doing? Hook 'em.
Well, Boomer. No, man, it's great to have you on the show. Man, I think this is the week that both and most Sooners and Longhorn fans have been waiting for a while. And I don't mean just this year, because to me, I'm the most excited about this game than I've been in years. This is I know OU's ranked 12 and Texas is ranked 3, but to me it reminds me more of the early 2000s. When you look at in 2001, OU was ranked 3, Texas was ranked 5. In 2002, OU was ranked 2, Texas was ranked 3. And then in 2003, OU was ranked 1. Well, I wouldn't even go that far. I go 2004, OU was ranked 2, Texas was ranked 5. To me, those types of games we're getting, not the 2008 game where or 9 game where Texas was ranked 3 and OU was ranked 20. I don't feel that we're that far apart. I feel like we're closer together, big and not just in together compared to teams, but in the country. I think we're some of the right now we're both playing really really good football, and so I'm fired up, man. I don't know how you feel about it.
Yeah, it's really good to see both teams doing so well. It's exciting to see both teams undefeated. Excited to see both teams kind of. I mean, to me, this is the first Red River shootout that's really nationally relevant, probably since 2009. I know they were both undefeated, and I don't remember when it was. They were undefeated at some point here in the recent past, but yeah, both teams are playing well. It does remind me a lot more of the 2000s than it has the 20 teens, where
Mhm.
one or the other have been good, and maybe the other one hasn't been, and vice versa. So, yeah, man, I'm super excited about it. I've been talking about this game all week on my shows. Uh, it's one of those games where you just never know what's going to happen. You can almost just completely throw the records out the window. You can completely throw the rankings out the window. Who's done what against who doesn't necessarily matter at all in this game. Uh, there's a lot of confident Texas fans. There's a lot of confident Sooner fans. I'm not confident either way in what's going to happen. I'm just going to show up, enjoy myself, and hopefully those Longhorns will come out on top. I was just in this live talking to some guys that follow me and on TikTok, and uh, I was just like, man, a win is a win. I don't give a damn if we win by 1 point or win by 70 points. This game, you just want to win, and that's all that matters.
That's exactly right. A win is a win. And you're spot on when you say going coming. I heard you say before on some of your shows this week that it don't matter if OU's favored by 50 or Texas is favored by 50. You never know who's going to win that game. I heard you say in your show also, even last year, you weren't confident that Texas was going to win, and they won 49 nothing. But
Yeah, I remember standing in line. I was standing in line to get some beer, right? We got into the stadium. I went down to get some beer for me and my wife, and I heard some guys in front of me talking, and they were saying, "Man, we're gonna kill these guys." Da da da. I said, "We better, because if we don't this year, man, we may never again. Because this is the year to get them if we're gonna get them. Because y'all were having quarterback problems. Y'all had struggled in some games, leading up to it. So, yeah, I was not. I never went into that game last year thinking this is a lock, because that game is just crazy. I mean,
it is.
you've seen so many good Texas teams lose that game. You've seen so many good Oklahoma teams lose that game
Yeah,
to the other side that they just shouldn't have lost. And that's what a rivalry is about.
it is. It's exactly right. And so before we really get into the game, let's talk about some things. I during this time of year when really this is the first rivalry game played across college football. A lot of them are played later in the season, and every fan base thinks theirs is the best,
Sure.
right? Um, but for you, what makes this rivalry? and I'm not just talking about football, everything it involves with the rivalry. What makes it to you? What makes it the best rivalry in college football?
I just think that it's such a unique atmosphere and a unique game. The whole everything surrounding it is unique. You've kind of got a spectacle inside of a spectacle when you're talking about the Red River Shootout. You've got the State Fair, which is the big spectacle that's already going on in Texas. It goes on for 4 or 5 weekends in a row. Uh, you talk about all the attractions that are there, all the food. I mean, people just go to the fair just to eat and drink and hang out and do all that stuff. So you've already got that piece that's wild, right? And then you take this game with 92,000 people and you smack it in a stadium right there in the middle of the fairgrounds. It barely even fits in there. Everything's built up so much around it now that you can't even hardly walk around anywhere. You got 46,000 Oklahoma fans. You got 46,000 Texas fans. And they're all crowded into this one small area, and everybody's just having a good time. And it gets bannery and all that stuff. You got your Boomer Sooners and your Texas fights going on. But ultimately, you're there for this crazy game. And then you get into the stadium, and it's a 50-50 split right down the 50-yard line. It's so cool to see the aerial shots of this game where you see the half orange, the half crimson. And then I think just the Cotton Bowl itself is just really neat. A lot of people hate it and think it's a big dump piece of shit, and it is. But there is so much history at that stadium. There's been so many really good teams have called that place home. The Texans, the Dallas Texans, the Dallas Cowboys, the SMU Mustangs. It's the house that Doak built. You've had so many really, really memorable Cotton Bowl classics that have taken place in that stadium. Lots of national championships won or lost in that stadium. So to me, there's just so much football history, and I'm a history guy anyway, and I love sports, obviously. So when you start talking to me about football history, I'm going to be really excited. And I think that's one of the places where there's just a ton of history. So that's why I call it a spectacle inside the spectacle. The game itself is a spectacle. Being inside the Cotton Bowl is a spectacle. The way they do it with the 50-50 split down the 50-yard line is a spectacle. And then you just wrap all that up with the fair and just everything that's going on with the fair. And I think it makes it the coolest game. Most of these games are in-state rivalries, these big rivalry games you talk about. And a lot of them are just home and home series. And to me, having this border war type rivalry between Oklahoma and Texas makes it cool. And then the fact that it's a neutral site makes it cool. And then, I mean, I think neutral site games are kind of neat anyway, but then just add the State Fair and the Cotton Bowl to it. And it's just, if someone can't step back objectively and say, that's pretty badass, and our thing is just kind of normal, it may mean a lot to our schools, right? Ohio State and Michigan, that means a ton to their schools. You want to beat Michigan, you want to beat Ohio State. The Iron Bowl, those guys want to beat each other. I get all that. Everybody wants to beat each other. But it's just a normal game. You're just playing in the big house. Or you're just playing in the shoe. And to me, doing this at the Cotton Bowl, doing it at the State Fair, just blows all that other stuff out of the water.
No, I agree 1,000%. In fact, I think I've even mentioned this to you before, but there's been talks because you're right. The Cotton Bowl was ran down. They do modifications, renovations to it, but it really they need to. To bring it up to date, they still need a lot more work. And so if they was to ever say, well, we'll take it over to Jerry's World, I would rather them just go home and home because, a couple reasons. One, it would give the Texas fans and the OU fans a chance to visit Austin and Norman. Okay. Something we don't ever get to do. And two, the State Fair is a big part of the OU Texas. So if you're going to move to Jerry's World, you're taking away a big part of OU Texas. And so, I love the whole thing. I've been down there. I've only been down there about 6 times. I've been in the stadium 4 times, and I sat outside the stadium a couple times and watched it on big TVs. And so, I've had a great time. And here's the thing with me. I've heard Charles Barkley say this the other day, that he don't hate Charles Barkley went to Auburn. He graduated from Auburn, played basketball at Auburn. So he's like, I don't hate the school of Alabama. I hate the Alabama fans because they're so arrogant and this and that. And that may be true. I know you took a trip to Alabama this year and was probably treated a little different than the Auburn fan was. But like, I don't hate Tech. I'm the opposite. I don't hate Texas fans. Most of the Texas fans I talk to, we can give each other hell, but it's all in fun. But the school of Texas, I don't even know any person on Texas personally, right? Their football team, their staff, anybody. But I don't like the University of Texas, as a Sooner. So
Yeah.
that's how I am.
Yeah, I mean it's a hateful rivalry, and it's
Yep.
to me it's one of those things where it goes really deep. We're going to talk about this on my show at noon tomorrow, but uh, because it's a border type of deal, I think that just adds to the hate. And it's not like a vindictive hate. It's just a man. I hate those Sooners, and Sooners say, I hate those Longhorns or those Sips or whatever the hell they say. So and definitely during game week, there's that hate, man. Everybody's talking shit on Twitter and everybody's back and forth and all the videos I've been posting on TikTok, and I just sit back and I enjoy it. Right. I've never personally had any problem with an Oklahoma fan. So yeah, I mean, most fans are good people and they're not going to cross the line, but in the back of your mind, you're going like, I hate Oklahoma. We got to kill Oklahoma. And
Yep.
I'm sick of seeing all these people in crimson around. So yeah, man, I get what you're saying. As far as, where they play the game, I kind of feel like there's three options. One of them's probably unrealistic, but I think it's the best option for me. The best option is to tear down the Cotton Bowl and rebuild it in the same exact spot it's at today, modernize it, make it better, do whatever you got to do, figure that out. It'd probably take a couple years to do it, 2 or 3 years to do it. So they'd have to figure out what they do in those 2 or 3 years. To me, that's the best option because it keeps it at the fair. It keeps it at a neutral site. And again, I think those are the two things that just make it really unique and really awesome. Jerry World, can that? I would hate it. That's like the absolute worst idea out of the three. And then the other's home and home, which I think it would still be cool. But I just think it would take away so much of the, I don't know, like, you hear Steve Sarkisian talk about the pageantry of college football and, just the traditional type things. It would take away so much from that. I would hate to see that happen. So I hope, Greg Sankey's going to be there on Saturday, and I guarantee you it's not just to watch Oklahoma and Texas play. I think he's going to take in, all of this atmosphere of the Red River Shootout, and he's a business guy, and he's going to start figuring out, like, how can we even make this a little bit better, right? So it'll be interesting to see what Sankey comes up with. It'll be interesting to see what the city of Dallas comes up with, if they can partner together and work out some deals. For Dallas, it's a tough deal because they don't want to spend a lot of money on that place because there's only really 2 games there a year now, I think.
Right.
I know they had I forgot what it's called, but Grambling and somebody else played there last weekend, I believe. And then there's this game. If they could build a new stadium, they could probably get games every weekend of the state fair and probably get some pretty big ones.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. I agree with everything you just said. So, I'm not sure if Texas, you have to help me out. Maybe, I'm sure some different things. We mentioned the state fair, but some other things that go on throughout the week. Like I know today, the ROTC team from OU took off running with the game ball. So they run all the way down to Dallas with the game ball. Do they do that from Austin also?
Yeah, I have no idea. It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something they do. And of course our radio stations are really big with the OU Texas thing. They do different events. So there's a thing, Carl's Jr. has been a sponsor for years, and in Purcell, I believe it is. No, it's south farther than that. Marietta. There's a Carl's Jr. there. And so for years they would set up shop and for like 3 hours just give out, they called them Bevo burgers, but it's just a hamburger, right?
Yeah.
And so they give that out. and first, I mean, I don't know, for like 3 or 4 hours. They've extended it now. Hold on. Are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm froze up. Uh-oh.
I can hear you, but your video did just go out.
Yep. All right. Let me let's log off. I probably got to restart my computer and we'll come right back on, okay?
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.